Yes, my question is about the hadith which says Oloma Ummati Anbiya Bani Israel. Somebody quoted this hadith and said that this is evidence that there will be no prophets in the Islamic Ummah.
It is what it means. The first translation, please. The word kama does not obviate the similarity between a prophet and a person, other person. In fact, it indicates that they will also be prophets. Like about Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we see in the Quran, "Kama arsalna ila Fir'auna rasula." So, commonality is mentioned by the word "kama" or "ka." Both are the same thing. What people miss about this hadith, which I want to clarify, is the fact that why didn't the Holy Quran, Rasulullah sallam, say the people of my ulama of my ummah will be like Salihin of previous ummah, like Siddiqeen of previous ummah? Why did it say Anbiya Bani Israel? There was no need to say Anbiya Bani Israel. If there is no equality between a prophet and a non-prophet, what does ka mean? The word ka doesn't mean anything. And in that case, you attribute something meaningless to Hazrat Rasulullah sallam. He says, Anbiya Bani Israel, and how can they be Anbiya? They can't be prophets. And they can't share the status of a prophet either. How can they become a? See? So it has a different meaning. The meaning is that the ulama of Hazrat Rasulullah's ummah should not be considered to be small people. If they are not given the title of prophethood, despite the fact their status could be that of prophets, despite the fact that they are not given the name of a prophet. And why? The reason is given, Ka Anbiya Bani Israel, in the ummah of Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, or Bani Israel began with Hazrat Yaqub. So from the time of Hazrat Yaqub, all the prophets who came in the ummah of Bani Israel, they were limited in time and in their address. None of them was universal. There is no exception. Even Moses was not unlimited in his prophecy and message. He was a prophet of the Israelites, and also he was not timeless, because the time came when his Sharia was finished. So those mujaddideen or those ulama who do not represent the entire ummah, do not address the entire ummah, do not address the whole mankind, how could they be prophet of the ummah of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which has become universal? So the definition of prophethood has changed after the universal prophet. If anybody is to be the prophet of ummah, he has to be universal. He has to be timeless. So that is the meaning of why, in what sense there is no nabuwa, in what sense there is nabuwa. And it also speaks very highly of the status of the Rasulullah sallam. The type of people, the great holy people who were called prophets earlier, are now called ulama of Muhammad Rasulullah's ummah. So the person, the leader whose ulama are equal to prophets, imagine how big he would be. So this is the true meaning of this hadith. It should not be taken lightly. It's a great compliment. Now the reality of Islamic history proves this meaning to be the right one. Go back to the time of Sahaba. Consider Hazrat Abu Bakr, Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Ali Rizwanullah alayhim, and then go back into the history of Israelite prophets. Show me one who is superior to them apparently, except for a few who may be considered by some to be superior, but on the whole, the quality of their piety, their dedication and the status is certainly much bigger than many prophets of Israel. Small prophets came and went here and there, delivered their messages, and yet they were called prophets. So why Abu Bakr is not called prophet? Why Umar is not called prophet? Why Hazrat Usman and Ali are not? While other great pious people in the Ummah, like Ibn Arabi, like Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, great people were born, like many Imam of Shia, whom they consider the Imam, they were very great people indeed. Hazrat Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, because the term prophet has been enlarged, widened in its meaning. After the universal prophet came, anyone whose address is limited to a small people and is not timeless, such people can be called like prophets of the earlier people, not the prophets. Because when you say the prophet, now the term prophet means someone on the style of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah, someone like him. Now this is how I explain this to Ahmadis to understand the position of Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi wasalam and why only one Messiah is given the name of prophet. The Holy Prophet doesn't say in the Muslim that Messiah would be like a prophet. You see, there is no ka used now. He says he will be prophet. And in other hadiths they say, Rasulullah informs us, Lasa nabiyum bani wa bainahu, which means the reformer of the latter days would be a prophet. Here he doesn't use the words ka. The obvious meaning, the meaning which is obvious is this, that the address of Hazrat Masih was to the whole world. Like you see today, it's spreading all along the world. Show me one mujaddid who did it before. Just one. However big they were, you know, first of all, they did not reach the whole mankind. Secondly, they did not address all the religions of the world. Thirdly, their prophecy, or if it was a prophecy, was not institutionalized so that it had come to stay. The Mujahideen came and went, and that was the end of it. No universal organization was left by them which could cover the affairs of the whole world. Hazrat Masih Maud is evidently different in this respect. He addressed the whole mankind, including Muslims, Christians, Aryas, Hindus, Sikhs, whatever name you like. He addressed everybody. His Jamaat spread all over the world. Despite the fact that we are small, even some Muslim scholars have noted the fact that as far as the presence of Ahmadiyyat is concerned, it is in far greater number of countries than any other sect can claim. You see, Wahhabis can claim they are greater in number. If that is right, then they are not found in the Far East, in the South Pacific, in the places where we have reached, in Africa. In most countries they are not found there. Now they have started buying people with money, but until recently, Wahhabiyat was the most hated word in Africa. There are Malikis, and Malikis are not found everywhere. And Hanbalis are not found everywhere, and the Shafis are not found everywhere. And other, like on the doctrinal basis, we can say Shias are not found everywhere. Ahmadis are found in more number of countries than any other single sect in Islam anywhere else. It's within a short time, because the address of Hazrat Masih to the whole mankind. So there are countries where we are the only representatives of Islam, like Tuvalu, for instance, and other island states in the Pacific. Either there is Christianity or Islam as we know it. There's nothing else. So this is the meaning of Anbiya Bani Israel. Hazrat Masih mentioning this says that although all the prophets, all the Mujaddideen were great people, God spoke to them. They were Muhaddiseen who were like prophets. It's so big. But I'm the only one who has been given the title of a prophet. And you should contemplate why. So I'll explain to you, this is the reason why. And Anbiya Bani Israel doesn't lower the status of the Ummah, it raises the status of Ummah. The ulama, the true pious ulama, in status are as big as the prophets earlier. Right? There was to be no similarity of status or title. Neither. Why did he use the word, Hazrat Rasulullah used the word Ka Anbiya Bani Israel? Because if you believe this, the status of a non-prophet cannot be equal to the prophet. And the name of the prophet was not given anywhere. So what is common? Nothing. How can they be Ka Anbiya Bani Israel? This proves the fact that they must have the status of prophets, although they are not called prophets. You see?
Yes.
Right? Jazakumullah. The time is over. And inshallah we will meet again next week. Right?
Yes, inshallah.
I'm missing the Arabs who have gone today, no? It was a beautiful experience, and personally I was elated with the presence of all the beautiful, wonderful Arabs sitting here. I hope a time will come when we'll have a large number of Arabs present always around us. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.